I am in the Republic of Latvia, more specifically in their beautiful Hanseatic capital of Riga. But we're not here for the history of the Hanseatic League. We, of course, here yet again for Latvia's national sandwich, the Riga sprat. A brief history of Riga sprat. Latvia, the heart of the Baltics, the Balticist, if you will. Estonia is up chilling with Finland, and Lithuania did that whole thing with Poland, but Latvia is right in the middle and has a very Baltic culture and a very Baltic history with an incredibly Baltic sandwich. When you look at Latvia, you see a very nice gulf. This is the Gulf of Riga, an amazing place for early Baltic tribes to settle. Aside from the beaches, this gulf is full of stuff like Baltic sprat, amber, and pagans. The rest of Europe wasn't cool with that last one, though, so they launched a crusade in the 1200s to bring the Latvian tribe some Jesus and maybe steal the amber trade. German knights of the Teutonic Order would take over Latvia and establish the trading post that would grow into the beautiful city of Riga. The Teutonic Knights ruled the area for a very long time before a massive war in the 1500s happened called the Livonian Wars, when Denmark, Sweden, Russia, and Poland-Lithuania fought for who could take over control of Latvia and parts of Estonia. The Polish technically won the war, but then would lose it to the Swedish Empire, who would then, of course, lose to the Russians in the Great Northern War in the 1700s. See, people always tell me Latvian history is like super depressing, but I guess if you're considering that you're being ping-ponged between foreign rulers for like 1,000 years, what was this video about again? Yeah, fish, yes. So basically, it was in the late 1800s that the sprat fishing became a Riga speciality. In the 1860s, the growing urban and industrial developments made it easy and necessary to start canning sprat. Inspired by French anchovies and some Danish advisors, the sprat was first smoked and then canned with a mixture of half sesame and half mustard oil, as olive oil ruined the fish. This canned fish was incredibly tasty and grew in popularity inside the Russian Empire and outside of it, known as Russian sardines. They would eventually be renamed Riga sprat after freedom from the Russian Empire in 1918, following a national awakening movement to make things a little more Latvian. From the Latvian language, Latvian food, and weirdly an intense push for Latvian paganism, at the end of the day, Latvia was finally free. Even as a free nation, this canned fish was a delicacy across Latvia and the former Russian Empire, now the Soviets had a deep craving for this delicious Latvian fish, and maybe some military bases, so they annexed Latvia in 1940, and it would be an unwilling member state of the Soviet Union until 1991, where it would team up with its Baltic friends in the Singing Revolutions and the Baltic Way to become independent again, reclaiming its freedom and the famous Riga sprat. Today, Latvia still sells its sprat canned in Riga across the globe, and it's very popular to be served on a piece of Baltic black bread as the national sandwich, or at least that's what we're going to do. Even in Russia today, where the sale of actual Riga sprat is of course banned for reasons, they still put labels in Latvian, showing how iconic this fish truly is. And we are going to try it right here in Riga. Yes, still in Latvia's capital city and their beautiful city parks. We're actually not going to get the sprat in the city center. We're going to head just out to the largest market hall in Europe to find their tinned fish of gold. And here it is, assembled. Look at this, folks. Wow. This is the Riga sprat from the oil from the can, fresh Latvian bread here in the beautiful market hall in Riga. Of course, we have some alcohol, the Riga vibes. We will now try this scrumptious sandwich. Oh. Oh. Oh my gosh. Look, it's so simple, folks. We got just bread and fish from a can, nonetheless. But the flavors, the bread is sweet, the fish is salty, blends together in an amazing combination. It's not, even though it's in a can, it's not a fishy fish. Oh, wow. This is fantastic. I mean, it could just be the vibes or the beer talking, but I will tell you, this is one of the best fish sandwiches I've ever had. Come to Latvia. Not gonna lie, I hate this phrase, but it's not entirely inaccurate. Bit of a hidden gem, folks. And this sandwich might just be one of the parts. Go visit Riga. So behind me is actually the Central Market where we just ate that surprisingly delicious sandwich. Look, I'm not a big fish guy. I mean, I like fish, like not from a can normally, but that was astounding. That was actually so good. And of course, the Central Market is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, in Europe. These old Zeppelin hangars that now are used to sell a whole variety of things. And you can actually come here and experience all that Latvia has to offer. Because let me tell you, it's more than just canned fish. So many fun Latvian things, such as Latvia's stunning Baltic Sea coastline. Yes, they have a whole chunk of the Baltic coast, and here you see the beautiful beaches obscured by Latvia's dense Baltic forests, which here you see also obscuring another treasure of the Latvian countryside, the Kami blocks. Yes, the Soviet Union definitely left its mark here in Latvia quite prevalently, with some of the architecture being aggressively communist. I'll tell you, it gets pretty commie in some parts. But that's okay, because there are very nice restored Baroque buildings all over the downtown of Riga, like here at the House of the Blackheads, or the Bremer Stadtmusikanten, okay? But of course, the number one thing you should do in Latvia is try some delicious food like this honey cake, which I will say is one of the greatest desserts I have ever had in my life. Unlike some other Latvian desserts that are a little more difficult to eat compared to the honey cake. But of course, if you're feeling a little savory, my favorite dish in Latvia is this bacon pie. It is absolutely scrumptious, as delicious as it is incredibly warm right out of the fryer. Or just try some basketball-themed chips. And of course, alcohol. Latvia is in a very privileged position of being a post-Soviet country and one that has a lot of German influence, which means they make really good alcohol and, in particular, really good beer. So, of course, if you're ever in Riga or anywhere in Latvia, try and enjoy their wide variety. Yes, I enjoyed quite a lot of beers all across my time in Latvia. My favorite, of course, is their amber beer, themed after the amber that holds up on the Baltic coast. But it's a nice mix between a light beer and a dark beer, and you can find it in a whole variety of flavors. But let me tell you, as a beer lover, Latvia is a great place to visit. This is my personal favorite brand of Latvian beer. Or, if you're not feeling beer, you can try Latvia's Scrumptious Balsam, their local liqueur, which I'll just let the clip speak for itself. Well, there you have it, Latvia. Here we are at the top of the St. Peter Church. The Baltic Sea's over there. The stunning Hanseatic city of Riga is below me. And I cannot express how much this country surprised me. I went with Latvia with not low expectations, but I guess you don't expect much from Latvia. But I will tell you, it has been an amazing experience. From the food, the culture, the history, the people. It's a wonderful place to visit. I would highly recommend coming right here to the heart of the Baltics and trying that amazing Riga sprat. Mama Sagle.